Welcome everybody to Talkin Geek Season 3 Episode 8. I am your host, Aaron, and I have... I got nothing.
Wow.
The fantastic Robert.
Wow.
Well, because I was
you just look at me and you're like, I don't even remember your name. It's like, that's terrible.
Come here. Well, because like I saw we have Spider-Man $29.99 over his shoulder. And
$20.99.
$20.99.
Get it right.
Whatever.
We're gonna get comments if you don't get it right.
But that's the point. We got comment then.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to think, what did they call him? But it was literally just Spider-Man. They didn't have like spectaculars.
Right. He's not. Yeah. Spectacular. I mean, look at behind us. We've got the Incredible Hulk, the Invincible Iron Man, the Mighty Thor. They could have used any of those, and you're just like, I don't even remember this guy's name. You haven't called me Mighty.
Oh, I haven't.
No, or Invincible. I'm pretty sure. Check the tape.
No, I think Invincible I have.
I don't think so.
The Wonder.
The Wonder.
Yeah.
The Wonder Robert.
Like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Superman. Super Robert.
Does Superman have anything in front of his titles?
The Big Blue Boy Scout.
Robert,
he is the Big Blue Boy Scout, I guess. That's
He's,
about it.
The defender of truth, justice, and the American way.
Unless he's in Russia. Then it's Russia.
Well, Red Sun, yeah.
Yeah. So, comic knowledge. Hopefully, you all have fun with that.
You should. Didn't they make that into a movie too?
Yes, that's an animated movie.
Yeah.
I still want to see that one. I haven't.
I haven't seen it either. I need to.
So, guys, I hope you all are doing good. I hope everyone's staying safe out there still through all this COVID stuff. And
welcome to Talkin Geek.
Welcome to Talkin Geek again. Our little rant for the first 30 seconds we got off track yet again.
Yeah, so. I mean, is there really a track? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like what is that old comic strip, like Family Circle or whatever, and there was like that character Jeffy who just always run everywhere. That's just us. That's us.
We're just everywhere.
We still get there.
Yeah.
It's just we take the Jeffy route.
We take the longabout. We just went out for a walkabout and came back with like 600 things. That's
some people are on a train track, and us we just are like we just we build the road as we go. We'll see what happens.
Where did you end up? But I'm there. I got there.
Wherever we're going, that's where we'll be.
Yes, with maybe a couple of little explosions. Don't look behind us too much.
Hey,
it'll be there. We'll be okay.
We're all about moving forward. Exactly. Progress.
Exactly.
What's behind us is behind us.
It is. We don't worry about it. So with that being said, progress, because I like how you started with that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go straight into our news part.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different things that came out this last week.
It's Comic-Con week.
Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con came out all week. It wrapped up this past Sunday, so hopefully you guys will check out some of those videos. From what I understand, they are still up on YouTube. So the ones that were up on YouTube, you can go to Comic-Con at home and go click those hyperlinks to those YouTube channels, and the videos will be up there still.
Yep.
I know I watched some stuff like a couple days later, but just a few bits here and there.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you get to check any of it out though, or because I know we were all kind of watched some stuff here and there.
I read some articles. Actually, work has been incredibly busy the last like 3-4 weeks for me, and so it's just like I have had very little time outside of work to devote to anything.
Yeah.
So I read like some articles, but I didn't actually get a chance to check out any of the panels. I think I hopefully will have some time this week to look at a few of them and see, like if there's any that really catch my eye or that I think are, have been getting good reviews that people had said things are funny or whatever. But unfortunately I didn't really get a chance to check out any of the official panels. So.
I mean, I'm kind of right there with you. I've kind of kept up with the news part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, starting with the one I don't like the most, which of course is Constantine. We know I'm not a big fan of the movie. I love the show.
That's because you're wrong.
I love Constantine. Oh my gosh.
The movie's amazing.
Matt Smith. It's a good movie. It's not Constantine movie. But
I'm sorry. It's called Constantine. The character's name is Constantine.
Is he British?
It's a battle for heaven and earth. I'm sorry. So you're saying that's not Spider-Man? That Spider-Man 2099 isn't Spider-Man anymore?
Well, that's 2099.
That Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man anymore because
he's Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's not.
So this is Keanu Reeves Constantine. That's what I'm saying. You're right. Maybe it's not the exact same version from the comic, but it's still Constantine.
I would like to point out he's not fighting for heaven and earth. He's fighting for his own soul, and that's it. He doesn't care about.
I said a battle between heaven and earth.
He doesn't care about that battle.
I didn't say he was. He is the battlefield.
Oh, he is.
Heaven and earth are battling for his soul.
Does heaven really want him? I mean, in the end, if you want to go with that part.
Heaven wants every soul, just like hell wants every soul. That's how it works.
Well, Constantine's not going to heaven.
Keanu, he's a saint, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Keanu never has to worry about hell. He's going straight to heaven.
Well, clearly, because Keanu's the best.
Yeah. I love him.
They made an entire movie called Keanu about how they named their cat Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves is the best.
That is true.
Did you hear his latest endeavor?
What's that? Oh, the comic books? Again, after watching this, hearing about it and kind of watching the recaps and stuff, I kind of like that he did the part. Because apparently, I didn't know this. It was originally supposed to be Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is supposed to be like every failed movie, like he was supposed to be Superman in the 90s.
And there is photos of that.
There
too.
is. There's test footage of him in the suit and everything. Yeah, no, Nicolas Cage, I don't want you to you then became Ghost Rider and that was terrible. Like I don't want you anywhere near my comic book movie.
So anyway, Nicolas Cage was supposed to
what
be
it is.
in constant. I was gonna say something, but keep my mouth shut on that.
Hey Aaron, I got a question for you.
Yes.
If you call a dog's leg its tail, how many? Or if you call its tail a leg, how many legs does it have?
One.
A dog?
Yeah.
A dog has how many legs does it have?
Well, if you're calling the tail a leg, I'm assuming you're calling the foreleg something else.
No.
Oh, well then 5, I guess.
No, incorrect. It still has 4 legs. Calling a tail a leg doesn't make it a leg.
Unless we change the definition of the word leg.
No, we didn't.
Aww.
It's a leg.
It's
A leg is a leg, and a tail is a tail, and slavery is slavery. Sorry, everyone.
What do you call a gun without bullets?
Pointless.
A projectile that you could throw at people. I don't know.
Still, at least a 2-pound rock, maybe.
I could hit you with it, I guess. So there's a thing called pistol whipping. You don't need a bullet for that.
Oh my gosh, we're so off topic now because I'm trying to stop myself from saying stuff.
How much of this are you gonna cut?
Not leaving it all in. It's all staying in, guys. So enjoy this rant.
Frank dropped at least 2 F-bombs. So
I'm just saying.
I'll have to go back to
Alfred.
that part. So anyway, so Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Constantine, which was the whole point of this
Oh, right.
conversation.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't get it. Obviously,
No.
Keanu Reeves got
thank
it.
God.
So Keanu Reeves did speak at San Diego Comic-Con about the 15th anniversary of Constantine.
Yeah.
So it has been 15 years.
That's crazy. 2005.
Right.
That's crazy.
Now, it was him.
That's the same year as Batman Begins, bro.
Was Batman Begins that year?
2005.
Oh, wow. So he was there. The writer, I think, was there, and one of the producers.
Yep.
But no one else, no other actor. It was just Keanu.
Yeah.
It's because Shia LaBeouf's too Shia LaBeouf. So
Shia LaBeouf's, I think he's gone past his crazies.
I hope so. Well, I don't know. He got a whole body tattooed chest on him now
I mean, why not?
for a movie role.
Why not?
Makeup. Anyway, so they did comment that they felt that Constantine may have been a little bit ahead of its time because it did come out before Batman. They think.
I'm just gonna say this.
What?
Every movie that is well received in hindsight that did poorly at the box office, they say we were ahead of our time. Not always.
No.
Sometimes you just made a movie that's for a niche audience and that audience didn't find it while it's in theaters. That doesn't mean you were ahead of your time.
Let them have their little piece of cake. They got a little piece right here.
Ahead of the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody said about Watchmen, in 2009, and I'm like, I don't think you were ahead of your time. I think you just made a good movie that, unfortunately was almost 3 hours long, and it's a really hard sell if people don't know what Watchmen is to get them in the theater. And it didn't make a ton of money, but that doesn't mean it was because you were ahead of your time.
And see, to me, if you're that kind of movie after Dark Knight, because Dark Knight came out in 2008, wasn't
Yes.
it? Mm-hmm. Then obviously you weren't ahead of your time because Dark Knight came out right before you.
Correct.
So come on.
Yeah, I think people say that because now the blockbusters are superhero movies. Even in 2009, we'd had Iron Man and we'd had The Dark Knight, but we hadn't had the Avengers yet. We hadn't had, the MCU wasn't a thing yet.
Not at all.
And
not only that, but Constantine wasn't a big hero. I mean,
no, he's an anti-hero.
No. And so, we were getting superhero movies for,
Spider-Man.
Early on, it was we got Superman or Batman movies. That's what we got. And then, Blade and the X-Men kind of kicked off that you can have other things. We got Spider-Man then. And then, again, Batman made it big with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Right.
But we were getting these smaller superhero stuff. But now everything is, it's
If that's where you want to be.
If you're releasing a big budget, movie, at least a 50-50 shot it's based on a comic.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like that's what it is nowadays.
Yeah, and I agree. So I don't know if
Swamp Thing didn't Swamp Thing make a movie too? Like
they made two like back in the 80s. Yeah. I mean, again, they were making those movies. Like they made like a Brenda Starr movie. Like,
I mean, we could always comment that they made a Captain America movie way back then.
They sure did, 1990.
I think they made a Spider-Woman show too, right?
I don't know.
I don't know about that
They
one.
made a Supergirl movie, which is
Supergirl movie?
awful.
So, I mean, I kind of
one,
agree
did
with you. What's up?
It's so bad.
Oh, gosh. I kind of agree with you. You know, I don't think it was truly ahead of its time. I think it was hitting maybe like right before everything started, like you said, but I don't know about ahead of its time because, first of all, you're trying to sell an anti-hero, which they were hoping like it would work. You got to sell the whole heaven and hell thing because, let's face it, some people don't want to watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think they made a good movie.
They did.
I think that a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
But I also think that, in 2005, if they were expecting that to be like a blockbuster that made a lot of money, then their expectations were wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not the. Even now, if they made a Constantine movie in this environment with all of the superhero stuff and all of the comic stuff, I still don't think it will. It's going to depend on who makes it, right? And it's going to depend on who's in it and how they market it. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's a difference between a Captain America movie, and an Ant-Man movie. Even in the MCU, like there's a difference in how much money those make.
Exactly.
And Constantine is an Ant-Man level,
he is
character.
And I agree with you. And I think not only that, like what you mentioned is going to be your key factor, but depending on whoever's financing it, the rating. Because to me, Constantine needs to be a rated R. But some of these guys, they want to keep it.
Sure.
You want to hit all the audience, so let's keep it a PG-13 or PG whatever.
Yeah, and it feels like we are starting to get past that a little bit. I mean, we had Logan, which was rated R. We had, and it made a lot of money. Deadpool was rated R, made a lot of money. We had Joker, rated R, made a lot of money.
Rated R,
we had. I feel like there's another one that I'm missing that was a big rated R comic book movie.
Those are the ones I remember.
The Kingsmen were rated R movies, and those made good money.
I didn't know that.
That they're blowing people's heads up, and no, it's definitely rated R.
I guess I just didn't think about it, like watching it.
The church scene, like the.
Oh yeah, true.
You can't get away with that in a PG-13 movie.
All the heads blown.
That's a good point.
But it's definitely like I still feel like I'm missing something that was rated R. But
Blade was never rated R, was he?
The original, I believe, is rated R.
Maybe that's the one.
I believe. I think the first two are rated R, and then the third one they made PG-13.
Maybe.
I believe. But definitely, I mean, like, I think that hopefully there are, we're understanding that we're making movies to fit the characters and not to fit ratings.
Exactly.
Hopefully. While we're at it, we really need to. That we never will, but we really need to change the rating system and move more to like a TV model where they just tell you this is the content that's in this movie.
Yeah.
Like in TV, it's like, hey, it's language, violence and whatever. Like that's what's in this or in this show. Yeah. And you can decide for yourself because, I mean, America has a weird relationship with violence or sex or any of those things that the rest of the world doesn't have. Yeah. Where it's like, it's.
I mean, who knows? Maybe in another 20 years, because I mean, it took the R rating didn't come out to the 80s, 70s.
No. That was the PG-13 rating.
Oh, PG-13.
R. It used to be. It jumped from directly from PG to R, and there was nothing in between. And it was like the mid 80s when we had Temple of Doom and one other movie, and I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been Gremlins.
I think
were
Gremlins.
Rated PG, and parents were up in arms because they were like, how is this, this should have been like rated above PG but it was like, it's clearly not R. And so they came up with
NC-17.
That's a newer one, isn't it then? Because I thought one of them was in the last 30 years.
NC-17 was the one that was pre-PG-13, and then they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do NC-17.
Yeah, you rarely get movies like that.
Do PG-13.
Yeah, most NC-17 movies don't get a theatrical release because there's just such a limited audience at that point.
Honestly, I know. I thought I muted that.
Every
time, seriously,
it's okay.
We do this.
People usually can't pick it up through the microphone. I just get to give you crap.
Yeah, exactly. I see it, and I worked at a movie theater for a little while. Random comment, and we only I was there for like a year or two. We only ever had one NC-17 movie, and they actually placed somebody in front of the doors to check IDs.
Yeah.
I'm like, but didn't they just buy it? Whatever. But they had us.
Well, but how many people sneak into?
That's the other thing.
Like I literally, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was earlier. It was like last year, and I don't remember what the movie was. But like I was going to see a movie with my wife, and like we were waiting outside of our screening for it to be the right time to go in.
Yeah.
And like this group of like teenage kids clearly were like on their way to sneak into like an R-rated movie. And literally like the manager just like is like staring them down and like just and like it was so funny because like they ended up they had to go into like they had bought tickets for like some animated G movie, and it was like, and so they ended up like having to walk into that because she was just standing there staring at them, and like we're outside and I'm like, and I remember commenting to her and she's like yeah, these kids aren't that smart, like they literally bought tickets to a G-rated movie and like thought that they were going to get away with it. Like we clearly know what you're up to.
Exactly, we did.
So
too.
There's a tip for you for teenagers. Buy at least tickets for like a PG-13 movie that they think you might have an interest in, because clearly like that was so obvious.
I mean, the easiest trick we did when I was younger is we always had one friend that was like 18, enough to go see the rated R movie, and have him go buy 4 or 5 tickets.
Oh, they did that.
Yeah,
they did that.
Okay, they did that.
But it was still like
no.
Yeah, you still can't come in.
Yeah, I remember those days. Those were fun days.
Yep.
But yeah, so Constantine.
We're still
20
on
minutes
Constantine.
Later. They did say they also have a second script out, ready to make a movie that
we're ready to make a movie that no one's going to finance.
Yeah, literally, they said if they said we got the financing tomorrow, we could start filming. It's never going to happen.
No.
So for everyone out there who was hoped there'd be a second Constantine, maybe dropped out on this.
Well, and I also like, as much as I love that first movie, and I think it's great, and I think especially the ending of like the confrontation between like Constantine and the devil and Gabriel, so like it's so good. I don't need a sequel.
No,
like
I can end with that for that story.
I mean,
I just think that like Constantine wasn't a very strong comic book character. Like, I mean, you have
It's
Superman,
taken
Batman.
years.
You have, I mean, Marvel. I mean, all these characters are like when my dad was reading comics and I was reading comics, and now my kids are reading comics. So I mean, you got 3 generations that are all wanting to go watch these films.
Yeah,
and then boom, pops up Constantine, and maybe one person out of your generation knows. Oh yeah, Constantine.
Yeah,
who's Constantine?
and that's true. I mean, it's taken him at least the last 10 years, even though Alan Moore wrote it and created it.
Yeah,
it's been the last 10 years where he seems to be gaining popularity now.
Correct.
Well, and again, those things are, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you really have to break through. I mean, think of something like Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, not at all.
And then that trailer hit, and everyone was like, what the heck is this? There's a talking raccoon and a talking tree, and like what is this? But it looks entertaining.
Nothing
like,
that comes over
and then
head.
It was like, okay, it's coming out in theaters, and it's the MCU, and still, even before it came out, people were like, this is gonna fail. This is gonna be the MCU's first failure. And then everybody went to see it, and it was like, this movie's amazing. Yeah. And now everybody knows who the Guardians are.
Exactly.
Right. So like, Constantine could become that.
Yeah.
But he's not.
I feel he's getting there because you had the NBC show. And then that got canceled in the first year.
Right.
But then people went in an uproar so much, he was able to get on an episode of Arrow.
Right.
They finally, the CW and NBC, talked into rights to get the character, got the character, put him on a couple of their episodes of, I think it was Arrow at first, or no, it was Legends first.
Legends.
And then he finally became a series regular.
Right.
And so I think he's getting there. And that's what I'm saying. I think maybe in like another 10 years or so, like Frank said, when another generation starting to read it, they're going to be like, oh, I want to see a Constantine movie, but it's going to be 20 years.
And you got to think.
I think now, because now he's got the Dark Apocalypse.
And he got Justice League Dark.
Sure.
There's Constantine, City of Sin.
Yeah.
Well, and you gotta think too. Like there are some characters that play better in an ensemble than they do as a solo character, and like somebody like the Hulk is that way for me, where it's like I think a lot of Hulk standalone stories. They're kind of just like boring.
You mean could they find out what you think about it if they go to youtube.com/officialGYGO? I am going to plug that in right here. Out about our Hulk review.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk movie.
Plug in.
Yes. Although, I think that one's probably the best adaptation of a solo Hulk story that we've gotten so far. But I just think like that character is so much more interesting when you play him off of other heroes, when you play him off of other, like, you know, as an individual, like, you know, I mean, let's be honest, Hulk is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally who Hulk is. And that character has been done to death in terms of, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm the light side and the evil side. I'm the intellectual side and the rage monster. Like, and so it's just like there are no more original stories to tell. And so if you want to make that character interesting, you have to play them off of other people.
Because I mean,
how do other people handle it?
The Hulk versus Thor, the Hulk versus Wolverine, the Hulk versus Captain America.
Which, by the way, like the opening panel of like Hulk versus Wolverine, where it's just Wolverine being ripped in half and having to like crawl back to his body.
Correct.
Through my body.
And you're right. I mean, the Hulk is one of those characters, just like Constantine, that you have to pair him up with somebody to, you know, make him, I guess, more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could be very true. So we'll see. Maybe one day it'll come back around.
Yeah, I have a feeling we will get an iteration of Constantine on the big screen again, but it will not be Keanu Reeves.
No, I really don't think it'll be him, and I think it'll be another 10 years, honestly.
It might
be.
You never know. They can't get Batman and Superman right, so I don't have a lot of faith in them making a Constantine movie.
No.
Warner Brothers, I'm coming at you.
He is.
And you never know. I mean, those John Wick movies pretty big. I mean,
Keanu is great. I don't think Warner Brothers made John Wick though.
I don't know who made that one.
Yeah, I think that's like Legendary or something like that. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I'm just, while we're here, I'm so mad that we've wasted a decade on bad Batman and Superman stuff. Like, the last time we had a good Batman or Superman movie, at least in my opinion, is The Dark Knight in 2008. Like, I think Dark Knight Rises was okay, and I think Man of Steel was okay.
Yeah.
And I think that Batman v Superman and Justice League were both bad. It's like we had a decade of, like, it feels like the 90s again.
I mean, but Batman had so many damn good storylines that they could have just picked one.
Yeah, they don't.
I really hope
adapted the storyline to fit.
I really hope the new Batman movie. The rumors for a year plus have been that they're going to do Long Halloween.
That would make more sense,
and I would be on board for that.
I would too.
We'll see.
So, well, keeping on the comic part, because like I said, I watched a lot of the little recaps.
Yep.
Todd McFarlane was out there talking about Spawn.
Was he though?
Exactly. Spawn and his other stuff. Because if you don't know who Todd McFarlane is, he is the creator of Spawn, co-creator of Venom, big comic book artist, and he's a writer now. He's done a lot of stuff. He also makes a toy line. He dabbled, I think, in the first film for Spawn. I can't remember if he was part of that.
He was involved in it.
Was he? Okay.
Yes.
So this one, people ask him, of course, how's everything going? And he talks about his toy line.
They're supposedly making a remake of Spawn.
Yes, they are making a remake. That is for sure. But nobody knows anything. So we were hoping to get something to come out of this, and nothing came out of it. All he said, he talked about his toy line. Apparently, they're doing some more generic toys instead of like the Halo. They did Halo toys back in the day. They've done some superhero toys. I think they've even touched some Transformer ones. But now it's gonna be a little more generic, they're saying. But when they asked him about Spawn, it's still happening, but I can't tell you anything.
Right.
We have, and they even said, we have a big actor now. We have a big name we want to tell you, but I can't tell you anything. Yep. So what the heck can you tell us, Todd McFarlane?
Is it Michael B. Jordan?
Maybe it is.
I mean, he's an excellent actor.
He is, but who knows who it is? So I don't know. Did you ever watch? You going to say Michael B. Jordan? Okay, Frank says that. Okay. Did you ever watch Spawn or read the comic ever?
I have not. No.
Okay.
Is it Jaleel White or something like that, or what was it?
Yes.
In the first one? Oh yeah.
Yes, I believe
Danny
that's correct.
DeVito's in it too, right? Isn't he
Danny DeVito?
I forgot the guy's name.
No, not Danny DeVito. Is John Leguizamo.
Oh, that's who it is. See, I don't know.
Luigi himself.
Luigi.
So, I don't know. I don't know who I would picture to be in Spawn or play this demon kind of character. He did say it is going to talk about more. He talked more about his origins, like how Spawn was created and how it's going to, I guess, maybe be in the movie. Maybe that was a hint, but I just don't know who would play Spawn or who could be in it. Maybe even Diesel. I don't know.
Frank threw out Michael B. Jordan without knowing anything about the character.
Yeah, who do you think? Just pick a random actor.
I would go with. I can't pull his name right now. It's the guy that was always shouting Ray in Star Wars. Ray. That's his name. That's all he does.
Guy who screams. Oh, Finn.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know the actor's
I
name.
can't remember the name. I'm gonna
so
look it up right now.
While he's pulling that up, I don't know.
John Boyega. That's it.
Boyega.
John Boyega.
Okay.
I think he's actually a really good actor. Not only in those movies, but he's done some other smaller stuff as well.
I like Attack on the Block.
Yeah, Attack the Block. He was in one of the Pacific Rim movies. I think it was the second one. He was also he was in Detroit, which was a movie about like the Detroit riots. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a really good actor who got completely shafted in those Star Wars movies. So they just like set him up so well in Episode 7, and then they just never paid off any character.
Did he comment that like he doesn't want to do any more Star Wars or something? I saw recently he said.
Yeah,
something.
I think the comment that I saw from him was that, and you know, I don't know if we already have a couple F-bombs. I don't know if you're gonna.
I'm gonna have to do a editing.
But he basically said that, they're not going to Disney Plus my ass. So he was saying, I don't think he was saying I will never return to this character in Star Wars, but he was saying I'm not going to be downgraded to Disney Plus. You know, if I'm in a Star Wars movie, it's going to be on the big screen.
Interesting.
Or he doesn't want to be in like a series or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
see,
why not?
like trying to look at.
Amazing, apparently.
Well, The Mandalorian's doing great, and I mean, not to try and move to a new topic, but there has been a rumor that we're getting a Lando Calrissian Disney Plus series with Donald Glover, the actor that played him in Solo, which was pretty much universally praised as the best part of that movie. I agree. I think he was fantastic.
Yeah, he did a great
as Lando.
I saw that movie actually.
That's. Pause for a moment to tell everyone what your favorite Star Wars movie is.
I like the Han Solo one. What's so bad about it? What's so bad about it, though? It was actually a nice...
It's not bad. It's just boring.
It's just not good.
It's not a great... I guess, again, though, like I've said, I don't care for the Skywalker one.
Yeah.
I just don't care for Skywalkers anymore.
No, I think the worst part of that movie is number one, it's bland for most of it.
It feels like an Indiana Jones movie on the lower end.
Well, and it's also... There's no point to it. It's like what... Like, there's no journey for any characters to go on. The character Han Solo that you meet at the beginning is the same Han Solo you meet at the end, and it's like he's already got the heart of gold that he's supposed to get by the end of A New Hope. And so now when you meet him in A New Hope and he's supposed to be this rogue and scoundrel, if you watch this movie first, you'd be like, well, he's not a rogue and scoundrel. He's a good guy.
See, I guess my problem that like what you have the problem with that, like there's no story, there's no like growth, is my problem with Rogue One.
Oh, I love Rogue One.
Because I don't feel like, and I never felt for any of the characters.
Yeah, I would say that this is my main complaint with the Disney Star Wars.
Okay.
Is I think that, and this is like way off topic, but
I know we've gone to another realm.
We're enjoying this.
Yes.
I think The Force Awakens had amazing characters and terrible plot. And I think Rogue One is flipped. I think Rogue One has great plot, like it's super interesting what they're doing, but
I'll give you that.
I don't really care about any of the characters. And so at the end, when they're all sacrificing themselves, the only character I care about is K2SO, is the droid. Like when the Imperial droid dies, I'm like, oh, that sucks. But everyone else, I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Because I like Alan Tudyk, so I fell in love with that character.
And like his sarcasm is great and like everything. But like Donnie Yen and
Yen,
like,
that's who I wanted to like.
All those other characters, like they're supposed to be these like huge emotional beats, but we haven't gotten enough time with them.
Yeah.
And so like that to me is the major failing, is like they know how to make great, interesting characters and they know how to tell interesting plots, but Disney has not put the two together in a Star Wars movie yet. They did it in The Mandalorian, I think, but even that had a lot of filler.
And that's because it has Jon Favreau. Let's face it, he was a big hand in that. I'm sure.
And I think one of the big things is that they release these movies and then later on they start releasing them in cartoon form. Then you start getting the backstories of all, like Saul Guerrero.
So it's like watch all the cartoons, then watch
in the Clone Wars. You get his backstory and how his sister died, and
and even I think the name of the novel is Catalyst, I believe, and it's like it's not exactly a prequel, but it's it kind of acts like that to Rogue One, because that story actually centers around the character that Mads Mikkelsen plays in the movie, who is like the scientist basically who invents the Death Star. Okay. And so it's kind of his story, and it's about him and the guy that's played by Ben Mendelsohn, the villain. Right. Because they kind of have a relationship and, like almost a friendship, but then by the end of the book, it's, this guy's like, I need to go into hiding because they're going to use my technology to create this, dimensional weapon that's going to kill everybody. Mm-hmm. And so like I had read that novel prior to going to see Rogue One, and I know that's why I liked the movie more. Okay. Like it was like, because I had already lived with some of those characters, and like those, I was like, oh, like I'm really getting this. But if I hadn't done that, I would not have enjoyed it as much. I still think I would have liked it, but I wouldn't have loved
Solo
it.
too, because of Crimson Dawn. But I mean, you watch the Clone Wars, and then you find out who Crimson Dawn is, and how it became Crimson Dawn.
Connecting the entire universe.
And how Darth Maul came back, and he's the leader of the Crimson Dawn now.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Star Wars, right?
Yeah, Star Wars, Disney Star Wars. I feel like their biggest flaw, and we've talked about this before, is just that they didn't have a plan. It's like they throw stuff at the wall and then they fill in gaps in supplemental material, whether it be cartoons or movies or comics or any of those things. And unless you're like a major Star Wars nerd, you only see the movies, and there's a lot of gaps. And so I think that's the biggest problem, is that, they're not like the Marvel Cinematic Universe had the opposite approach. It was like movies. That's what we're using. And now they're finally, more than 10 years later, getting to, we're going to put some stuff on Disney Plus that is going to interweave with the movies, but we still, because we haven't gotten any, we still don't even know how heavily that's going to tie in. And I would assume that those shows will enhance the movies, but you will still be able to watch the movies without watching those shows and have them make sense. That's my guess.
We'll see what happens.
To this point, now you have to watch Rogue One, then New Hope, then Empire. No,
that's too much.
You have to watch Phantom Menace.
Heck no. You do not start with the prequels. You do not start with the prequels.
With the first one.
No, because then
you guys are terrible.
The end of Empire Strikes Back, like, loses all impact if you have seen the first 3 movies. Like, you cannot watch the prequels first. I will not show my kids the prequels first. 100% no, will not happen. I'm going to try and avoid watching. I'm going to try and avoid the prequels at all costs, anyways. But.
So back onto San Diego.
Star Wars.
Back to Constantine.
Real quick. Oh, gosh, we're past Constantine.
Yeah, we moved past it.
So, I don't remember. Oh, Todd McFarlane, who's we on? We got that one. The other thing, Bill and Ted is...
Rant heavy.
Yeah, right. Bill and Ted might be coming to VOD as well as theaters,
well, not might be.
Oh, it will be. Okay,
yes. They have announced that September 1st, they're going to do a dual release. It's going to open in theaters that are open, and it's going to come to VOD if you don't want to see it in theaters.
Are you going to try to see it in theaters or just wait till
Heck
VOD?
No, I'm not seeing it in theaters.
It doesn't seem like a movie I'd want to see in theaters.
Well, and Bill and Ted, like, I think we've talked about this before. Like, I remember seeing the first 2 when I was a kid, and I remember enjoying them, but I have not seen them since. I don't really remember much about them, and even though this trailer has made me laugh a couple times, it's not one of those movies I'm like, I have to run out and see that.
Exactly. I think what I'm going to do is sometime in August I'll watch the first 2 again.
I'll try to.
Just probably watch the 3rd one on VOD, because I
like the first one. The second one was like,
yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be nostalgia. I think that's all it's going to be. Like, if you grew up watching it, you knew it, you're going to love it. If not, I think you're going to hate it.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, sometimes those nostalgia projects are like knock it out of the park and everybody loves it. Like The Force Awakens was like that. A lot of people were like, it's Star Wars again and I love it. Yeah. But then other times you get like, The
Force Awakens.
Yeah, that too. But you get like the Star Trek reboot, which a lot of Star Trek fans were like, this is not my Star Trek, because it turned into action movies, which I liked, but that was never what Star Trek was about.
Yeah. That's interesting though, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, a lot of other news came out. More of the comic. Oh, Keanu Reeves is writing a comic book though.
Yeah. Well, and sticking with movie news, there were some announcements this past week about like release dates and things like that. And so like Mulan and Tenet have both officially just been pulled from schedules. Like they didn't say they're delayed. They just said we're not releasing them on the date that we had initially said we were going to.
They'll come out at some time.
Yeah, so at some point we will get them. The big news about Tenet, which is the new Christopher Nolan movie, is that they're exploring releasing it internationally, but not domestically, because internationally the rest of the world is actually starting to get past our this pandemic, but here in America we are still struggling heavily with it. So
I'm curious how that would work out, because your main money, isn't it domestic though? Isn't that like US is where you get more of it?
It depends on the movie, but yes, most movies actually it's about 50%. About 50% of their gross will come from domestic, and then the other 50% will come from international. And it depends on the type of movie. Like big blockbusters that are big action movies, like the Transformers movies, actually make more money internationally than they do domestically.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of speculation about why that is. People go, well, it's just big explosions, and that's universal. Anybody can watch a big explosion and enjoy it. It's not dialogue heavy, or anything like that. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot of reasons movies make different types of money, and
exactly.
I think Tenet is one of those movies that it's an action movie, but it's one of those like thinking man action movies that Christopher Nolan kind of does. Like he did that with Inception.
Butterfly Effect, was it that his?
No.
The Butterfly was his.
He did The Prestige. He did Memento, but that was a long time ago.
Memento. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that's why I got confused.
Inception is his. That's clearly what the template for this is. It's still a blockbuster, but it's more of like you have to think about it. And so I think that's what Tenet is going to be. And Inception was made money. I think if we weren't dealing with what we were dealing with, Tenet would probably make a lot of money. But it'll be interesting to see how they release it. Because it's one of those movies, most Christopher Nolan movies are movies where it's like either there's some sort of twist or there's some sort of, what is this? How does this work? Yeah. And so to release it to the rest of the world, will it then, get spoiled for, people here, and now people won't want to see it? I don't know. He's like my favorite filmmaker, so I'm going to see it no matter what.
Exactly. I'm right there with you because I enjoy his movies. I've really, really enjoyed all of them. So we'll see where they come out. And, I know you said you've been busy, and I know Frank and me, we've all been busy. Comic-Con's supposed to be this big thing. We're supposed to get all this big news. You're supposed to see all this stuff happen. I want to know both y'all's opinion. Do you think that almost none of us cared? Not that none of us cared in the room. I'm not going to say that. But we all cared maybe a little bit less because of COVID or because it was online. It doesn't feel like there was any big news. Everything I tried to look for, nothing was there.
The part of that is that there isn't as much news.
Right.
There a lot of production and stuff like that. Has been on hold for 5-6 months now.
Right.
And so, new projects being greenlit or starting production. Like there's stuff where it's like normally at a Comic-Con, you might have some teaser footage for something coming out next year,
right,
or previews for a movie, or even some movies like debut, like Scott Pilgrim versus the World actually had like a screening at Comic-Con the year that it was coming out, because it's like, this is for these people,
right.
But with everything being pushed back, like there's a lot of stuff that we still don't know when it's coming out, and B, so many things got delayed, but we already have footage from all of those things. Right. It's like we already have footage from James Bond or from Black Widow or like all this stuff, because it was ramping up to be released before all this hit. And so it's like we don't really have, the one big new footage that we got was the New Mutants, because that's still on the release schedule for August 28th. We'll see if it comes out. But we did get like a 3-minute scene that's like the opening of the movie.
And the whole thing, we talked off the camera.
Yeah.
I heard the trailer was the funniest part because it had their first date scratched out, second date scratched out, third date just scratched out, and then nothing. Because they were like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but you got to think about it. most of the interesting stuff that happens while you're at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, while people are there, hey, did you see this happen? But
Right.
I mean, online, it's like you can't see it.
Right.
You make a mistake, or they make a mistake, or they do something dumb. I mean, they can edit it out themselves.
Yeah, some of the stuff was pre-recorded.
or
they said so.
or whatnot. So
Well,
I mean,
and
so
again-
you lose interest because
Yeah.
there's no spontaneity, I guess.
And there was no, like, the major studios didn't have
No.
a presence at all. You know, Marvel Studios didn't have a presence there at all. DC, you know, Warner Brothers did not have a presence there. Like,
You go into one
So-
to look at the shebang, to see the downloads, to see you know, pictures that people take.
Yeah.
You know, of you know,
All
walking
the
around
conventions,
and
yeah.
look what we caught on, you know, look what we
Right,
caught on
right.
film.
yeah.
So,
And
do you
none of
think
that was
it's because it was online and because of COVID that it didn't do well, or do you think this could be the downfall of big conventions like this? What do y'all think?
So I think that it was a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm. Good movie, by the way.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
I think that conventions have already been on the decline because there's been so many.
Right.
It's just, it feels like the market's been flooded, and there's like niche conventions for so many things, and it feels like San Diego Comic-Con was the last big universal one. Obviously, like Disney has their D23,
Right.
and also like Star Wars Celebration, their Star Trek conventions, things like that you know are still very big. But it felt like, you know, San Diego Comic-Con was really the last big, like, you know, hey, this is for all things.
Yeah.
And so I think that will still be the case when we get past this, but I think it will have changed their model, and I think we'll get a lot more stuff online than we ever did before, and eventually that will have a major impact on the actual convention going experience.
That'd be
That's
interesting.
my opinion.
I think that they'll see this as a failure.
Right.
They'll
For
be
sure.
like, no, we don't. We want the hands-on with the people. We want the displays, and we want the, you know, like you said, you know, they're going to see this as a business model, and guess what? We didn't make any business this
Yeah,
year.
they made zero money probably.
We made
Right.
zero, or you know, we didn't get any hype. I mean, we don't go to Comic-Con every year, but I
No.
mean, at least we read about it, we see it.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
go online, we Facebook it, and this year we were like,
Yeah, I mean, literally, you know, before the show was starting, I was trying to refresh my memory, and I was like, okay, you know, I like Googled, you know, biggest news stories to come out of Comic-Con 2020,
And nothing comes
It
up.
was like this article, and it was like, well, there was a trailer for Bill and Ted, and there was, you know, 3 minutes of New Mutants footage, and that's it.
That's pretty
and
much
I
what
was
I got
like,
to.
oh wow,
Yes.
like normally it's like big casting news, or, you know, oh, this new project that started, or was, you know, big announcement of, you know, like, you know, I mean, I remember
Nope.
like, what was it, 2011 Comic-Con, when they brought out the entire cast of the Avengers, and, you know, like, we're showing, and it was like, wow. And it's like this year it's like, well, Bill and Ted is coming to
Keanu's at a
coming to
convention.
your TV screen in a month, and you're like, oh.
and I think Robert's right. I think a lot of the smaller conventions are going to tank.
Oh yeah,
And
they're
and
done.
you know, not to say that, I mean, they weren't any good, but like you said, they were like just nitpicking at certain people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hope the big ones stay there. I hope the Comic-Con stays.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars
Yeah.
one stays. The big ones should stay. The
Yeah.
little ones, not so much, or maybe if they are in like major metropolitan cities, like one here, maybe, but you're right. I mean, they're just popping up all over the place.
Exactly. I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I
curious.
just, you know, I mean, I feel like I'm not the big convention guy anyway. Like, and I think one of the biggest draws to conventions here locally in San Antonio
Yeah.
have been like, oh, we're gonna have this celebrity or this celebrity, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like that, It's like, oh, I'm going to spend $100 to go stand in line and spend 30 seconds with someone who is spending 30 seconds with 1,000 people and doesn't want to have a conversation with you, doesn't want to answer your stupid fan question about Khal Drogo.
I feel like you have a personal story going on.
I'm talking specifically about Jason Momoa. Yes.
Unless you're Keanu, because he'll answer all your questions.
I mean, maybe, but not if he's at a convention where he's got to meet 1,000 people.
No, he will.
He doesn't have time.
He will, Robert.
No. He doesn't have time, Frank.
He will, Robert.
Keanu's the best. I love Keanu, but
Keanu waited for a whole family to show up at a convention.
Oh my gosh.
Keanu's the
because
best.
the wife said that you're my husband's man crush, and he's like, "Cool, call him. I'll wait."
See, Keanu, I think, but yeah, Jason Momoa. I forgot about that until you started talking. I was like, "Who's he talking about?" Yeah. So we had a bad experience with Jason Momoa.
I know we didn't even have a bad experience. We had no experience.
Yeah. I guess that's the best way to put it. Is it no experience? Because we tried too. We did really try.
We tried to have a bad experience with Momoa. We took his parking space.
So what's the whole? There's no point. It's like
I think
it's because Aaron took his parking space.
Yeah, these celebrities, they don't want to spend any time with you.
No, they don't.
Like they're there because they're getting paid to be there, and they're gonna sign their signature on something. They're gonna take a picture with you if you pay for it. But you can't even really say I met Jason Momoa. No, you didn't.
No.
You stood next to a person and got a picture. Like, that's not meeting someone. You did not have a conversation with them.
If you had less than 3 sentences, it doesn't matter.
No.
Because it's hi, how are you? I'm good. You good?
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of yours.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, I mean, I always think of Galaxy Quest when they're signing those pictures and the fan says,
"Oh my god,
I want you to settle this debate for us in episode blah 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 blah," and he's just like, just stay away from me.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. It's like they don't care. They don't want to answer your fan questions.
There's hardly any of them. I think there's like Keanu and maybe a handful, just a small handful of that actually do.
Well, and again,
that's it.
they're all savvy enough to not be jerks to you.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not going to be complete assholes or anything, but they're also they're going to be like, yeah, okay, there's other people in line. Like they let their publicists and all them be the jerks that are just hurting you out,
that's what they're paid for. They're paid to be the jerk.
Shatner was Savage was it Fred Savage?
Oh, Fred Savage was a jerk. He's a jerk. Aww. Everyone else was nice.
Was it Fred Savage or Ben Savage? Which one was it?
Which one was on Boy Meets World?
That's
is
not
that Ben.
No,
that's Ben.
That's Ben Savage.
Okay, so Ben Savage is the jerk.
Yeah.
Fred was the nice one, or not as jerky.
Fred was Princess Bride.
Fred's the one from Princess Bride, yes.
Family, wasn't it Family Something as his
Family
TV show?
Nice,
no, that was Steve Urkel.
No, that was...
he did another
The
Wonder Years, there you go.
Correct.
Yeah, Fred was okay. Ben was the only one that had a problem with everything.
I just wanted to make sure we got it right, because you had previously told me it was Ben Savage.
And I'm like, Fred, I was like, oh yeah, Fred. Oh, wait a minute. When you said that, I was like, whatever, Boy Meets World. That's all I know he's done, ever.
I don't know.
So,
Fred Savage, he's the one that's in Austin Powers. He's cool.
He's in Austin Powers?
Yeah, he's good. He's got the mole.
Oh, that's him. That's right.
Yeah.
He's also Deadpool. The Deadpool Once Upon a Christmas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because they did it like it was Princess Bride.
So dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm moving away from Comic-Con and our rants and everything.
Yep.
I want to talk a little about gaming news because the big Xbox Series X event was also this past week.
Amazing.
And I know Robert saw every second of it.
I did. I spent all my time on work. I mean, on Xbox.
Oh, okay. So
PlayStation. I mean,
I'm a PlayStation guy. You already know this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So my thing is, I watched the whole event. I actually watched it a couple times because I was curious about a lot of stuff. Phil Spencer was on there, talked about where the console's going. And if you didn't already, go look. We actually have a video up on YouTube. YouTube. No, actually, it's on Facebook. I'm sorry. That I did about the actual gaming convention itself, and not gaming convention, but the Xbox experience or series, whatever you want to call it. So I did a whole video on that. So if you want to go check it out, go to our Facebook page. But I want to talk a little bit about it here, because since I've done that video, I noticed there's a few other things that people have been saying.
Yep.
Well, first of all, I want to say we didn't get a price, no price point, and no release date, which, whatever. I guess that's what we're expecting.
It'll be here when it gets here, and it'll cost what it costs.
Exactly. That's pretty much what I think they're trying to say.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem. I got you.
the main thing, of course, is I think they're waiting for PlayStation still. They're wanting to see if they can undersell.
Right. Everybody it's a giant game of chicken.
It is. It's what it comes down to.
No, you go first. You go first.
I want to know who's going to cave. That's kind of what I'm waiting on. I think, honestly, Xbox is going to cave first. Nintendo.
Absolutely, Xbox is going to cave.
They're going to cave first.
100%.
Way before PlayStation.
Yes.
Because I think PlayStation's going to hold out longer.
Why can't they just not be douchey and just give us a price already?
Because they want to.
Wait. So you're asking why rich, powerful corporations cannot be douchey?
Yeah.
We're going to be here for a long time. That's a whole other show.
No, actually, it's very simple.
Okay.
Money. That's why.
There you go. Money. So the first thing out of the gate was Halo Infinite, the new Halo game coming to Xbox Series X. And it is going to be a launch title. It is going to be there. And they gave us a trailer and they gave a little demo for it. Now, watching it...
Is Master Chief in it?
Master Chief is in it. He better be in it. I would be sad if John wasn't in it.
It's really the only character I know. I don't know anything about Halo.
You don't know Cortana? You don't know that name?
Nope.
Dang. We're going to get you to play some games one day.
Same day I get you to watch episode 9 of Star Wars or Lord of the Rings.
I will watch episode 9 while you're playing the game. How about that?
Cool.
I'll do that. Okay.
Do I have to be in the same room with you? Because I don't want to hear episode 9. The movie's bad.
I'll put headphones on or something to listen to it. I'll plug headphones in.
Cool.
So, a lot of people...
Starship Troopers,
So we got Starship Troopers in here. We did it. Thank you, Frank.
Actually, I have played Halo, but that doesn't mean that I know anything about it. I played it for like 20 minutes.
Lore. No, you got to learn the lore. You can put it on easy and learn it all real quick.
Sure.
So Halo Infinite coming out. He's going to. And they showed us a lot of the gameplay, but a lot of people have been bashing the trailer because it does look like old generation graphics. Like, it doesn't look brand new. So there's a couple things that I was like looking at. One, this trailer and / demo, whatever you want to call it, probably was going to come out when E3 was. So that was at least a month or two ago. And on top of that, they get these trailers ready months in advance to show at those conventions.
Sure.
And then they usually have like comments like, hey, this was done, whatever, or it's pre-rendered or whatever, so it doesn't look great. But wait till we're finalizing everything. Right. So people bashing it right now, I kind of want to tell you, you're dumb. Because just give it time. I'm going to call everybody out because the fact is, if you're going to base this game on what it looked like right there and look at the older trailers, you already know that's not the same footage. We all know that. The older trailers are more polished. They look a lot nicer and sharper. This one, it kind of reminded me of a little more cartoony look to it. But again, this is also a brand new engine that they made called the Slipspace engine to build this game in. So if you don't know what that is, basically you have an engine you create like this program that says, okay, we're going to build everything in this using this game.
Yeah, the game engine.
Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm. So it's brand new and it's built for Halo.
I'm sure that won't have any hiccups or problems and it'll be perfect.
Perfect.
No glitch.
But the good thing is it's Microsoft money. They could dump a bunch of money in it if they really want to.
I'm sure they could, but also if everybody buys the game, they might not.
That is true too. That is true. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, Halo's been around at this point for 19 years almost and gosh, has made them a lot of money.
Red versus blue, bro.
Yeah, Red versus blue is almost 19 years old. They're almost 20.
Once again, the second thing I know about Halo. And now I have exhausted my information.
He's like, and I'm done for the day.
Master Chief, Red versus blue, and I know nothing else.
That's good.
It's a first-person shooter. That's what I know.
He knows 3 things.
Yep.
And is it in the future?
I would assume so because they're in like robot suits, basically.
He got 4 things. We go with that.
Is it the future? Or is it even on Earth?
It's an alternate reality.
It could be an alternate reality, I guess. 500 years from now, we'll find out. So,
cool.
Someone let us know then. But they had that game.
Yep.
They have Forza, not Forza, whatever Forza, the racing game they had. I'm not a big racing fan, so I don't care for racing games. Forza, whatever it's called. Forza. There you go.
Forza. They said foursome.
No, Forza.
Frank, where's your mind?
I have to edit more out. But so Forza.
Don't buy that one.
That's the type of game Aaron wants to play.
Oh, God. I hate all of you. So the game is actually looked really cool. They actually are rendering it in 8K at 60 frames per second. Okay. So it's going to look really sharp if you have an 8K TV, I guess, which I don't.
It's going to look like you're driving a car.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's a fast car. Really fast.
That's cool.
So
I don't care.
I'm not a big racing game, so that one didn't impress me
unless
too
it's
much.
Mario Kart, I don't care about racing.
I think that's the only racing game all of us care about.
You know, if I can't plant a banana at that perfect spot in a corner, where as you come around the corner you lose a balloon, I don't want to play your game.
Nope, don't want to hear it.
What was it that wasn't even a meme. It was like some guy was driving and a turtle went through his window.
Oh yeah, that was me. I posted
it
that.
was like on his windshield, and it was like little Luigi car.
I love it. That was so
winking
funny.
at him like.
It's one of those green turtle shells. He must have been in the lead.
Exactly.
Or no, it's the blue one. The blue one hits you.
Yeah.
The green ones are the ones that just go straight.
Yep.
Red ones are seeking, and then the blue one is seeking and it hits whoever's in first place. Yeah.
So they had that come out. That was one of their big things.
Mamma mia.
The ray tracing technology they're using behind it, which is just how it renders and how it processes everything.
Yeah.
They talked about that. And they showed off maybe, I think, like 10 or 15 titles altogether. We had State of Decay 3 coming out. AVOD, I think is the name. I don't know how you say the other game's name. They were like the two that caught my attention.
Wait, hold on. You're struggling with pronunciation of something? This is
right?
so weird.
It's not like it's
video game pronunciations.
ever happens. Anything to do with names, I'm going to say.
It's COVID.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when your name's been mispronounced your whole life and people haven't been calling you Aaron like they're supposed to.
Exactly. Throwing me off all these years, all 33 years, 24 years, whatever old I am.
D-Nice?
So,
is there a D-Nice there?
Oh my gosh. So,
shout out to Key and Peele.
Right. Everwild is coming out. That was the other one.
Balake.
Where you at, Balake?
Oh,
you want to go to war, Balake?
I can't rank
that skit's amazing.
It is. It still holds up too.
Yeah.
That was a good one though. Psychonauts 2 is going to come out.
Psychonauts.
But they actually did the trailer really cool. They had Jack Black come in and sing. And they show him come in because he knows the guy who wrote the song and everything.
Nice.
So they're chit-chatting and then he sings the trailer. So for the trailer, it's actually Jack Black singing.
Nice.
For those who actually care. I think he actually plays a character in the game.
So like, it's Psychonauts?
Yes, Psychonauts.
So like there's astronauts, which are, like, those are people that go to space. And you have cosmonauts, which are like Russian people that go to space. So Psychonauts, is that just like people that are insane that go to space?
No, I'm not going to comment on this one. I had to stop myself because I was going to go to a whole political thing.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just wondering what, what the premise of the game is.
With Foursome,
oh my god, it's an older game. They had a lot of big voice talent on that one. Actually, did you ever watch The Angry Beavers or Invader Zim?
I'm familiar.
Okay, so one of the voice actors from that actually is in Psychonauts. Oh my gosh. I hate all of you,
Frank.
So
let's not
draw
any conclusions that we don't need to.
Okay? So anyway, so the same voice actor that played him is back. There's a lot of games that looked really beautiful, and they ended the whole event with Phil Spencer was like, "Okay, we're out, we're done," and then another trailer drops, and you're following this little pixie.
So he lied.
He did. He didn't. Okay. He did.
Yep.
He's a liar.
Yep.
But I don't mind because. And this is something I think, it really was. This is something where I kind of am happy because last week we talked about it a little bit because we talked about this event coming out.
Right.
And I said that there was a rumor that Fable was going to be there, and I said, yeah, it's probably they're going to show a trailer. The last thing was a Fable trailer.
Nice.
So I was kind of happy that we called that. I was like, yeah, it was a rumor, and I was like, yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually showed the Fable 2, or Fable, it's just called trailer. It sounds like the same voice actors are back because it's the same narrator talking.
Nice.
They're showing off the world a little bit, but it's not. It's just a teaser trailer. It's just this pixie flying around that gets eaten by a frog.
Super early.
Yeah, and it's just them showing that, hey, we do have the rights to it. We did take it. So cool. I'm happy. They have 15 to 20 first-person studios, meaning games that are going to be exclusive for the Xbox Series X. The other big announcement they did make was that the Xbox is going to have the upgrade availability, which we talked about last week.
Yep.
So if you bought any of your older games, like right before launch or so, they are going to be able to upgrade to the new ones. And I'm assuming that's going to mean any first-person game or any first-party game they have. So the Halo games. What else do they have? Gears games, any of those other major ones that they have.
Probably.
State of Decay, all of those. They're going to be upgraded and look a lot nicer on your Xbox Series X. So
cool.
I'm curious. I don't know. Oh, they also had the one thing I wanted to laugh at because I laugh at it all the time with this kind of stuff. Destiny 1 and 2 is coming to Game Pass, so it's going to be free to play essentially if you subscribe to that. And they're like, yeah, we have Destiny 2 now and this, and I'm like, dude, that game's old. Like, why do I care? Stop trying to sell me on an old game. But apparently PlayStation has done this with GTA 5. They're like, hey, we're going to have GTA 5 on our new PlayStation.
Sure.
I'm like, the game's even older. Like, why? Why are y'all doing this? Nobody cares.
Because there's autos that need to be thefted in a grand fashion. 5 times.
Then there's cheap bastards like me that never bought the game.
Right, and now you're like, I
it
need
comes
to.
out.
And now you're like, I'm still not gonna buy it.
Right? He's like, I'm still not
getting
playing
it
it.
for free.
Okay.
But that was like the major stuff from Xbox.
Yeah.
No announcements. They showed off all their trailers, which, you know, you go look at that first video I did where I did a quick little breakdown of everything. That actually has some of the gameplay trailers up there as well, and some of the old teasers. I watched the whole thing, and like I said, I've watched it twice now, and I just wasn't impressed. Because I guess I know there's going to be new games. I know that. But no price point, nothing, release date. I'm kind of like, that's all I really want to know at this point.
And you figure that these companies would be flooding the market right now, especially since nobody's going anywhere.
Well, they already canceled, or they already stopped
think.
production of the Xbox One. That's
I'm
done.
saying
So
flood the market with like new
Right,
new
like
stuff.
like this, you know, streaming content or like at-home content should be like they should be pushing that down our throats because everybody's at home. We can't do anything else.
Yeah.
But they don't want to.
New
Apparently,
game releases. You know, hey, we can download them to you.
Yeah,
sell them
the
to you
only
online,
Yep.
we know that the console's gonna have like 15 games when it comes out, but that's all we know. And it's like cool, but when is it coming out? You know, is it coming out next month? 2 months?
We get there when we get there.
When will them be now?
Soon.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting tired of them not releasing anything or talking about anything, and
they're not going to, bro. I mean, they don't want a chance.
It'll drop. It'll drop before Christmas. It'll drop like in November,
Exactly.
and you know, it'll be $500 or whatever it is, and you know, we'll deal with it.
Exactly. Can you do me a favor, Frank, real quick? In my bag, there's a book. Can you grab it for me, please?
I forgot about this.
Because we're pretty much wrapped up.
You
at this
actually
point.
read?
And
you read?
watch the. Okay, so that fell earlier, right where you were sitting.
Perfect.
We were trying to kill the talent.
We were trying to take him out.
I mean, it happened before I was here. So
right there, that big blue book right there. Cool.
The big blue book.
It is. So we're pretty much done with all of our new stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
gonna probably have to edit this. So have fun with that, Aaron.
Future Aaron.
Aaron has more
There's a
problems.
present for you.
So Kristen has looked at stuff, and we both have been trying to figure out other ideas, right?
Okay.
Other little
All right.
segments.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we didn't do a Take Our Money. We didn't do the videos from the net today because there was a lot of news and some ranting we had to do today, apparently.
We had some rants.
We did, dude. Like,
Constantine.
Off-topic
Constantine,
comments.
Star Wars, Batman, Ben Affleck, Nicolas Cage.
Terrible movies.
We went
he's
way
in.
off.
Foursomes.
Okay,
I mean,
so
foursomes.
we're on another rant. So what do you want to do with this blue book?
So she has one book, and I have this other one, and this is Would You Rather.
Okay.
So this is maybe another segment. If you like something like this, let us know. We'll keep doing stuff like this.
We're gonna do one
There's
right
going to
now.
be 3,000 questions in this book.
3,000 questions. That's a lot of episodes.
I mean, a lot of segments we could do it. And I wanted to try it out.
Yep,
So if y'all
go for
like
it.
this idea, let us know. We'll keep doing stuff like this. Or if you have a question like, what would you rather pick, A or B kind of thing?
Sure. Sophie's
we'll go
choice
from
a
that.
little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
So
pick one franchise, Star Wars or Star Trek. Which one you
Say
keeping?
stop.
You know, stop.
okay. First one I see here.
Go for it.
No, that one's like
Not appropriate?
dark. Yeah, that one's kind of dark. Let me see.
Give me a fun one.
Let me see if I find a fun one right here.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? This isn't too bad.
This is compelling.
Meet Leonardo da Vinci or Mother Teresa.
Okay. So again, what does meet mean? Is this the Jason Momoa? Like I get 3 seconds. I get 3 seconds to sign a picture.
You get to take a picture
or
with them.
do I get to like have a conversation and pick their brain?
Well, see, if you get a picture with Leonardo da Vinci, you would have to go back to his time frame.
I assume I'm going to have to do that with Mother Teresa too. It's
But
not
think
like,
about it. Leonardo da Vinci had a picture, they have to paint the whole thing. So you get to stand there longer with him.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, look at it this way. If you get a picture from Leonardo da Vinci, it's worth a lot more money.
Well, he's not
than
doing it.
one-
You're meeting him.
I mean,
You're
is this
meeting him.
is this Bill and Ted? Like I get to travel through time? Like because
You know
I'm
what?
not sure
Well,
that I want to go to like 15th century Italy.
They
or
come to
whatever
us.
it is.
We'll say this. They come to us in studio.
Okay,
So
so they're going to be
whichever one.
here.
Yes.
So, like we get to do an interview with them.
Yeah, we get
you
to
get.
pick their-
We'll
we
do
get
it that
to
way.
pick their brain.
Whichever one. Which one would you want? Leonardo da
Okay.
Vinci or Mother Teresa?
You know what? I want Mother Teresa because I want to ask her, you know, because it's funny. There's a podcast that I listen to where, you know, like this guy is, and he's used Mother Teresa before. He's like somebody, you're like, you can't please everyone. Somebody out there hates Mother Teresa. So I want to know who hates Mother Teresa. I want to like go when you were a child, what person picked on you all the time? Like whatever. I want to know who that person is.
The Pope.
That like Mother Teresa is like this saint that everyone loves. Who's the person that's like Mother Teresa sucks?
There you
so
go.
I want
That's
to meet
cool.
Mother Teresa so I can find out
Ask
about
me
that.
one, so we'll do a different one for me, and then we'll do a different one for Frank. Stop.
All right, here we go.
So whatever you want to pick from that. Yeah, the first one was like really dark. When I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a little too dark.
Ooh, this one. I feel like I already know this one.
Oh god.
But I like this.
Okay.
This fits our show.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay, would you rather become a vigilante who targets people you feel needs punishment, or a superhero that saves innocent people from harm?
This is for
God, wait.
So I either become the Punisher,
Yes.
or I
Right.
save innocent people from
Or become
harm.
Superman.
Right.
I become Superman.
Correct.
I mean,
Spider-Man.
obviously,
Just say the
could
answer.
be
You know what
Spider-Man.
it is.
Punisher.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
He wants to be
I'd
the
be-
vigilante.
I become like Constantine or Punisher. I mean, because like I want to say, like, don't get me wrong, I want to
Punish
say,
the evil.
I would want to say like I'm going to save innocent people and do all that stuff, but in the end, I'm like, no, I want to go like kill the
But
bad
at-
guys.
Right, but at the end, you would like save the innocent people, and then you'd be like, and now I'm going to kill the person
Yeah,
responsible
exactly.
for you being in harm's way.
It's like, are you okay now? Are you safe? Yeah. Bam. What did you do that for? Well, he was trying to hurt you, so now he can't hurt you anymore. He's dead.
There you go.
So why are you bugging me?
Right, like-
I would seriously. So you saw the Punisher, the series, right?
Yes.
The TV series.
Yes.
That would be me. I don't know if you remember this one scene. The girl shoots the guy and he's slowly dying, and she's like, "Oh my god, I killed him! I killed him!" He's like,
Yeah.
"No, you didn't." Bam! I killed him. That would be me. That would so be me. Like,
Yeah.
no, you didn't do anything wrong. Boom, boom, boom. It was me. It's okay.
I took care of it.
Yeah, that would be.
He
me.
could have survived your wound.
Yeah,
I made sure he
It's only a
did.
flesh wound. I put 3 in his chest. He's not living anymore.
That was perfect. Good.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
But yeah,
All
I
right.
picked the Punisher.
We got one
I
for
would go-
Frank
yeah,
now?
let's do one for
All
Frank.
right.
Stop.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see.
I like this actually. This
Yeah,
was
this is fun so far. No. None of these are good. Hold on.
Try the other. Well, the other page. Anything on that
Yeah,
side?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
So guys, again, while he's doing that, go to youtube.com/officialgygo and see our MCU videos, the retrospective review, as well as watch other little podcasts that we do here and there. And again, drop in the comments. Do you like this little segment? What would you do? Or would you rather? I'm sorry. Would you rather? Do you miss the other segments? What do you want to see in here? Let us know, because we definitely want to try to get better content out there for you. This was kind of a spur of the moment. I didn't even tell the guys.
No, you did not.
No, but I'm enjoying this, so I hope y'all are too.
Oh, this is dark. I'm
Okay.
going
You're gonna
with
go for the
it.
dark one? Okay.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
for
going
it.
with it. Would you rather die by drowning or by fire?
Oh God.
Fire.
I'm on board with that. I would have to agree. Drowning seems like the worst.
It would.
It would suck.
Because you'd probably pass out first from the fire, wouldn't you, before you feel
Have
too
you
much?
ever choked? Have you ever been choking on water?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the fire, you pass out first from the pain, wouldn't you? Before, I don't know.
I don't
how
know.
that would
Yeah,
work.
it feels like the fire one. I mean, I guess it would depend on like, is it just like a slow, like is it over an hour, like where you're
Oh.
just
Are you,
like, slowly
roasting, or is
like
it like
a peanut? Or
because
is
like,
it like
drowning is a couple minutes to actually
Yeah.
have like the oxygen get cut off from you, but it feels like that would be the worst because you're just like conscious that whole time. Whereas like with fire,
Well,
like the pain.
You would pass out first, I think, before you.
I
Oh, you
don't
did with the
I don't know.
drowning. 'Cause you
Either
can't
way, it
breathe.
sucks.
Yeah, that's a lose right
I
there.
gave you, there weren't really
fair.
any good ones on that page, so you got a dark one.
So, but let us know
Sorry.
what you all think, guys. Like, I thought this was fun. It was a little different. We did.
Yeah.
Would you rather? So let us know. Do you like this idea of doing a little would you rather at the end, or do you miss the take my money, the videos from the net, or do you want to see something different? Let us know in those comments. And like I said, Robert, we did talk about our MCU video. We're wrapping that up next week. Is the last video.
We've got a couple more left. So dropping yesterday would have been Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel or Ant-Man? I always get which one came out last backwards.
No, we just released
Ant-Man
Ant-Man
was
and
last week.
Wasp.
Yeah.
So Captain Marvel came out yesterday, which means Endgame is next.
Yes.
And that is not the end of the game because there's another movie after
One more.
that.
One more.
So we're almost done.
Almost
We've
done.
got a
Two
few
more.
We got
Two
a
more.
few left. But check those out. Yeah, at YouTube, official GYGO.
Yep.
We've been, going back and watching every MCU movie. So there's 23 movies that are part of the Infinity Saga, and we've gotten through 21 of them as of this release date. We've got 2 more coming out, and we've been having a lot of fun revisiting those movies. And so hopefully you've been having a chance to check them out and enjoying them as well.
Yeah. So hopefully, guys. So guys, everyone stay geeky, and I hope you enjoyed. And y'all have a great one. Take it easy.
Bye.